Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Millie Kulsresht and you are watching Erudite Chemistry classes. And today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, and that is periodic classification of element. You know what? Classification, first of all, we have to understand why it is needed to classify the element. ठीक है, it's okay. We should have kept them randomly and we should have studied them that way only. So what was the need of classification? All of you might be knowing this thing that when we go in the school and teacher come to you to teach you, what will happen if in a single class all type of students are sitting, like starting from LKG to first, second, third, fourth, fifth to 10th class students are sitting in a single class. What will happen then? Will it be possible for the teacher to teach these students properly or to understand the mental level of each and every student? No, obviously not, because she is not knowing what is the mental level of each and every student. Okay, and what to teach them, and obviously how to teach them, how to deal with them, because every time we deal with the things according to their nature. Once you classify them, you know how to deal with the things. For an example, in your school, you are divided into various classes. That is, if I am going in an LKG class, I know that these are very delicate children and I have to deal with them delicately. And I have to teach them very small things and I have to make them aware of this word, isn't it? But if I go for the 10th class, I know that these students have learnt ABCD. They know how to make sentences. They will understand science, what is science. They can understand how to apply the science, isn't it? So if I give you some instructions, you can easily understand that instruction, that I know. That is why I can deal with you accordingly, isn't it? So why we have classified you? Because we wanted to make the things very simple for us to understand. That is, these are the students from LKG, these are the students from HKG, these are 10th class, this is 8th class, so that we can easily predict that what is their mental level, how much we have taught them till date, and accordingly I can predict that this student will definitely know ABCD because this is in the 3rd class and each and every student in the 3rd class must know ABCD, isn't it? So this way we are classifying it, and it is easy to us to predict what is the ability of that student. The same thing scientists wanted to be done with the elements, because as the time was passing, more and more elements were discovered. From the early civilization to till date, many elements were discovered one by one. You know what? Up to 1863, only 63 elements were discovered. And it was really not easy to remember and to recall the properties of 63 elements. And just suppose what would have happened if there would not be a periodic table. Would it be possible for us to remember the properties of all 118 elements? So obviously it became a need of time to classify the elements. That is why scientists started working on classification of element. Although they did not get success till 19th century, but they have started doing it, and the very first classification which was done by any scientist was the simple classification. The scientist was Antoine Lavoisier. He classified all the elements discovered that time in 1789, and he divided them into 3 categories only. First is gases, second is metals, and third is non-metal. So he was knowing that gases are the different category, metals are different category, and non-metals. So up to that level he could identify only 3 categories, but that was also not sufficient. But up to 19th century, no very good classification came into existence. The very first classification which drawn the attention of everyone, that was Daubigny triad. So Daubigny triads, that was the classification given by Daubigny in 1829. What Daubigny did is he made the groups of 3 elements, and these 3 elements which he used, these 3 elements were showing the same kind of chemical properties. Along with that, he arranged these elements in order of their increasing atomic mass, and then he found that there is a similarity in their properties, and as well the atomic mass of the middle element is equal to the average of atomic masses of the first and last element in the triad. So here is the first triad given by Daubigny. Look at this triad. This is the group of 3 elements. We have lithium, sodium and potassium here. What was his observation? He observed that the elements lithium, sodium and potassium are showing almost similar kind of properties. Apart from that, he arranged them in order of their increasing atomic masses, and he observed that the atomic mass of the middle element is equal to the average of the atomic masses of the first and last element of the triad. For an example, the atomic mass of sodium will be the average of the atomic mass of lithium and potassium. Okay, so this is 7 plus 39 divided by 2 is 23. So as you can see here that 23 is the atomic mass of sodium. So these type of collection of groups of the three elements were named as triad. Same way you can see the another triad here, that is chlorine, bromine and iodine. All of them were showing the same kind of properties, and the atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5 and this is 137. The atomic mass of the middle element can be calculated by taking the average of the atomic mass of these two, that is 35.5 plus 137 divided by 2. What you will get? You will get 81.5, and 81.5 is almost equal to the atomic mass of the bromine. But as you can see here, the atomic mass of bromine is 80, but when we take the average of the atomic masses of the other two elements, we are getting 81.5. This is not exactly equal, and in many cases it happened. He made 5 triads, and out of these 5 triads he could not prove that every time the middle element is getting the same atomic mass as that of average of the other two atomic masses. So it was taken as a coincidence that we are getting the atomic mass of the middle element equal to the average of the atomic mass of the rest of the two elements. So just because it was considered as a part of the coincidence, it was discarded. So this theory was actually failed to fit to all the elements discovered that time. But do you know, student, this theory brought a very new idea for the classification, and that idea was that we have to arrange them in order of increasing masses. So this concept came into mind of other scientists also, and they also started doing the things in the same way. That is, they started arranging the element in order of their increasing masses. And the next classification, which was a very good classification, was Newland's law of octave, and this came after this Duvigny triad in 1864. Here we have Newland's law of octave, and Newland's law of octaves was one of its own kind and given a new idea for the classification of element. The main thing here is that he has compared his classification with the 7 notes of music. We know that in Hindi we call it as sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, and in the English musical notes we have do, re, mi, fa, si, fa, sol, la, ti. He used this concept of musical note. What you observe that when we arrange the elements in order of their increasing atomic masses, every 8th element gets the similar property just like the first one. That was his observation. He compared it with the musical note, just like sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. After the 7th note ni, we get again sa, but on the higher pitch. So if I sing sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, that sa will come again, but that sa will be on the higher pitch. Same way he was saying that when we arrange the elements in order of their increasing atomic masses, the 8th element, every 8th element will be having the similar properties but with the higher atomic mass. So this way he made his table by comparing classification with the musical law of octave. So let's try to find it out that how they show the similar property. I am starting from hydrogen. Just like hydrogen make H minus ion. We know that hydrogen make hydrides, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and after 7 element this fluorine we are getting, and fluorine also makes same kind of ion, that is fluoride. If I go further, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now this time 8th one is chlorine. So chlorine make chloride ion. So every 8th element is showing the similar kind of property. Okay, same way if I start from here, बेरिलियम से स्टार्ट करें तो दिस इज 1 2 3 4 5 6th 7th and this time I am getting at the 8th position magnesium. So beryllium and magnesium both make +2 and +2. In outermost shell we know now na कि in outermost shell there are 2 electrons and they show same kind of properties. Just like we have MeCl2, we have MgCl2 also. In the same way, if I start from the magnesium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th element is calcium. So this is also showing the similar kind of property. Just like we have Mg plus 2, we have Ca plus 2, and we can resemble the property like it can be CaCl2. So this way we can see that every eighth element is showing the similar properties just like the first one if we arrange them in order of their increasing atomic masses. So he observed the periodicity in the properties of these elements, and this term periodicity never came before in the classification. So this was the best thing came out from his classification. So the first thing which came from the Duvalier triad was that we can arrange the element in order of increasing masses. Fine, he used this thing and he came out with a new concept, that is we can see the periodicity in the properties also. But obviously there were many flaws in his table also. The very first flaw of his table was that it was only applicable up to calcium. After up to calcium we can match the property. Elements are showing their periodicity in properties. But after the calcium, the problem was that every element is just kept randomly without showing any similarity with the last upside elements. That means up to calcium it is working very well. It is absolutely correct, and we know that till date also we are having the same classification. For the lighter element it was working very well, but for the higher element it was not working at all. It was not a good idea to arrange them in this way where we are keeping the aluminium with the chromium and yttrium. या फिर the better one is oxygen and sulfur are kept with the iron, which cannot be justified at all. Where that is the property of these elements are absolutely different from each other, isn't it? One more problem was there with this table, that is when the new elements were discovered with the time, there was need to add more columns or the rows into this table, and when we are adding the more columns to it, the concept of octave automatically rejects. So that was all about the Newland's law of octave. In the next video we will study Mendeleev's periodic table in detail. I hope this video will be helpful for you to understand the earlier classifications. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it and subscribe it. Thank you very much.